Welcome back to my Vision News. First news story is about talks held between Ethiopian army and an armed group operating in western Ethiopia for years. No details have been made public so far by Ethiopian government, but we have received this information through some exclusive sources, and we confirm this information through contact with the armed group commanders too. Secondly, viewers, top Sudanese General, number 2 man in Sudan, or number 1 you can also say, Hemedti is in Eritrea. He arrived in Asmara a few hours ago. A very crucial visit, keeping in view ongoing tensions between Hamdan Dagalo and Abdul Fattah al-Burhan. Both are two top men in Sudan. What is Eritrea doing? What is Isaias Afwerki's interests in Sudan? We know that Isaias Afwerki has presence in terms of clout in eastern Sudan. Details for you. Firstly, viewers, in November last year, we saw a signing of peace deal between TPLF and Ethiopian federal government. Since then, several armed factions have been seen starting talks with Ethiopian government, with regional governments, with Ethiopian National Defense Force. We saw that an armed faction in Benishangul Gumuz region of Ethiopia signed a peace deal. Then Amhara regional president 2 days ago confirmed talks with Ago Liberation Front. Ago fighters, Kemans fighting in Amhara region for decades, but talks going to start, or started, some sources say. Thirdly, Oromia regional government and Oromo Liberation Army have exchanged statements showing their interest in start of talks. Now, Gambela region of Ethiopia. Gambela Liberation Front is an ally of Oromo Liberation Army. Both groups have been operating in coordination. A few months ago, the two groups launched a joint attack on Gambela city. For almost a day, they fought inside Gambela city, main city of Gambela region. And we have seen Komsa Dereba Maro attending graduation ceremonies of Gambela Liberation Front fighters. Gatluak Boam Paul is one of top commanders of this armed faction. 2 days ago, we received information that talks had been held between Gambela Liberation Front and Ethiopian government in South Sudan. I contacted some leaders of Gambela Liberation Front 2 days ago, and today I got their reply. They have confirmed a meeting with Ethiopian National Defense Force members and Gambela region's deputy president. The meeting was held in South Sudan, and next round of talks will be held in Addis Ababa. Reportedly, it is being confirmed by this armed faction. No statement, no details shared by Ethiopian government so far. So the momentum that we saw for peace in Ethiopia after Pretoria deal is having its impact in other regions of Ethiopia too, apart from Tigray. In Amhara, BG, Gambela, Oromia, armed factions are starting talks with Ethiopian federal government. I think this is the right time for government to show some flexibility. If these armed factions have shown interest in choosing a peaceful means for their struggle, government should welcome it. And if Gambela Liberation Front fighters sign a peace deal with Ethiopian federal government, it could be a blow to Oromo Liberation Army, because Gambela shares border with South Sudan, and OLA fighters, they have their bases in Sudan and South Sudan. They operate in coordination with Gambela fighters. They use Gambela's territory to enter South Sudan, and they use BG territory to enter Sudan. The signing of deal between, if it happened, between Gambela Liberation Front and Ethiopian National Defense could be a blow to Oromo Liberation Army. Secondly, viewers, a top Sudanese general arrived in Asmara, Eritrean capital today. Who is this man? General Hamdan Dagalo Hemedti is deputy chairman of Sudan's most powerful body, Sovereignty Council, which is led by Abdul Fattah al-Burhan. Abdul Fattah Burhan, army chief, and Hamdan Dagalo are two most powerful men in Sudan. Some say Hemedti is more powerful than Burhan because Hemedti loyalists took control of a gold mine a few years ago, a few months ago, and he has now control on Sudan's gold, which is his strength. This gold is being exported to some Arab countries, to Russia reportedly, and Hemedti is the one who is leading this gold trade. His family, his relatives are involved in gold trade, and Sudanese military is also involved in multiple businesses. And Hemedti is leading Janjaweed fighters, who are now Rapid Support Forces, RSF. And recently we have seen confrontation between Hemedti and Abdul Fattah al-Burhan. Hemedti loyalists entered Khartoum in thousands a few days ago. So at this crucial time, when Hemedti and Abdul Fattah Burhan are at the loggerheads, he has arrived. Hemedti has arrived in Eritrea. Hemedti is very close to PM Abiy too. He is seen as pro-Ethiopia. A few months ago, he visited Ethiopia. PM Abiy welcomed him very warmly. Hemedti has close ties with Arab countries too. And he sent some Sudanese fighters to support the UAE in Yemen war. So he has close links with Russia, with Arab countries, with Ethiopia, and now he is in Eritrea to meet Isaias Afwerki, Eritrean president. Isaias Afwerki has influence and presence in eastern Sudan for years. Eritrean government, Eritrean president have been backing Bija tribe elders, though Abdul Fattah al-Burhan has been trying to minimize Eritrean role in eastern Sudan. If you remember, a few months ago, Sudan did not allow a delegation from eastern Sudan to enter Eritrea. This delegation, comprising Sudanese tribal elders and politicians from eastern Sudan, was due to attend a conference which was convened in Asmara, Eritrean capital, by Eritrean government, but Sudan's border security forces prevented the entry of the Sudanese delegation from eastern Sudan into Eritrea. And if you remember, we know that Eritrea offered to mediate between Sudan's army and Sudan's protesters. Protests going on in Sudan for more than a year. Though an agreement has been reached, but still a lot of issues are unresolved. I remember that Yamana Gabriab and Usman Saleh from Eritrea held some meetings with Abdul Burhan and Hemedti a few months ago, they delivered a special message from Eritrea to Sudanese leadership. Eritrea was interested in mediating the conflict, political conflict in Sudan, but Abdul Fattah al-Burhan did not show the green light to Eritrea. He rebuffed Eritrean attempts of mediation. And later we saw a deal reached with mediation of Arab countries, UN, and European countries. So, if Isaias Afwerki has decided to back Hemedti against Burhan, if it happened, it would be a serious development for this region, for Sudan. We could see unrest start in Sudan. Maybe Hemedti wants to confront Burhan. Before that, he's trying to gain regional support. Ethiopia is supporting him already. He wants Eritrean support too. Arab countries could be behind him. Try to update you in coming videos about this key development. And we must not forget that there are more than 100,000 Eritrean refugees in Sudan. Eritreans enter Sudan for their they enter Sudan because they want to reach Europe. So Sudan is their transit, but most of them are arrested and detained in Sudan. More than 100,000 are at camps in Sudan. Try to update you in coming videos, viewers. Thank you for watching.